Welcome to the day 4 session on Selenium WebDriver and Java training by 5 Elements Learning. Today we are going to talk about the concepts of operators, the numerical and boolean, and then we will be looking at the if, switch, while and for entities of the Java programming language. So yesterday we saw the different types of data which are available to us in Java, which is broadly classified as number and boolean and string. Out of them, number basically comprises of integer and the decimal, whereas it is further divided into different types of numerical data depending upon the quantity or the range of numerical values supported by it. Example, byte, short, int, long, float, and double. So, on a number data type, we can work with numerical operators, which are the very first set is known as the numeric operators, which are addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and the remainder operator. The purpose of the numerical operators is to either add two numbers, subtract a number from the another, divide two, find remainder of a number when divided by another number, etc. So let's see a small program, and the program for this is aptly called as calculator, where we ask the end user to provide us with some data values and we are able to then perform these numerical operations on it. I hope you guys remember that how we can fetch uh, input from the end user by using the scanner class available with the Java util package and using the .next method where we convert the string value to either an integer or a boolean variable. Okay, right. So here we ask the user to provide us with the number 1 and we ask the user to provide us with number 2, and here we add two numbers, we subtract a number from the another, we multiply two numbers, we divide a number with the another, we fetch the remainder of one number with the another, okay, and then we close the scanner class. So addition of two numbers, subtraction, multiplication, division, and the fetching of the remainder operator or remainder value. So here I hope the first four are clear to you guys. The last one, let's discuss the remainder operator. It is also known as a mod operator. The purpose is to return you the remainder where a number is divided by the another. Okay. For example, if I say 10 mod 2, the remainder value would be 0. If I say 15 mod 2, the remainder value would be 1, and so on and so forth. So this is known as the numerical operator. Let's move forward to the next concept. I hope this is clear and you guys, this is like we have been using these operators since kindergarten, so hopefully no questions should be there. The next is the shortcut assignment operator. The shortcut assignment operator is represented as plus equal to, minus equal to, multiply equal to, divide equal to, and mod equal to. This is how the shortcut assignment operators are presented. So we write down plus equal to is I plus equal to 8 is represented as I equal to I plus 8. Then minus equal to f minus equal to 8 dot 0 is represented as f equal to f minus 8 dot 0. Multiply equal to I multiply equal to 8 is represented as I equal to I multiply by 8, and so on and so forth. So these are known as shortcut assignment operators, where you have representation of the operation along with the assignment operator. So perform the operation and update the original number. Perform the operation and update the original number, and so on and so forth. So let's see an example. So let's try to find out the values which will get printed. So I equal to 9, double equal to f, double f equal to 9.9, I plus equal to 6. This is represented as I is equal to I plus 6. So what would be the output? What would be the output which we get? You have to perform the operation and update the original number. So you will get a 15. Okay. Now the next one, I multiply equal to 6. What would be the output in here? So here what you have to do is you have to say I is equal to I multiplied by 6. What is the value of I? The value of I in here is 15 because I is already updated. So 15 into 6 output is 90. Similarly here the value would be 80. Okay? Is this clear? Good. Now f minus equal to 6.0, so it will remain 3.9 and 3.9 by 6. So remember that the shortcut assignment operator behavior is to perform the operation and update the original value. So these are the outputs which we are going to get. Just check your answers. Okay. Now let's see another important set of operators which are known as increment and decrement operators. You will see their usage in the for loop mainly, and let's try and understand what do we mean by this increment and decrement operators. Pre-increment operator. Pre-increment operator is represented as plus plus var. So take an example. Let's say we have A and B. A is equal to 10, B is equal to plus plus A. So it function is first increase then assign. So first it will increase the value then assign. So A will become 11 and B will also become 11. First increase then assign. Then you have got the post increment operator. The post increment operator behavior is First assign, then increase. So if A is 10, B is equal to A plus plus. B would become 10, A would become 11. First assign, then increase, post increment. Pre-decrement operator. Is represented as minus minus var. So if A is 10, B is equal to minus minus A. So your A would become 9 and B would also become 9. First decrease, then assign. And then you have got the post decrement operator. If A is 10, B is equal to A minus minus. First assign, then decrease. So B would become 10, A would become 9. Okay. So this is how the pre and the post increment and decrement operators work. Just have a look again. Just read it. Let me know if you guys have any doubt. Okay, fair enough. Then we have got the comparison operator. Again, we have been having a look at it for a long time now. Comparison operators help us compare two numeric entities, and the output of a comparison operator is a Boolean variable. So generally you will find this operator being used in decision making statement. For example, if, switch, etc. So let's have a look at the comparison operators. So comparison operator is, let's say we have got A equal to 10, B equal to minus 10, A less than B. Is this true or false? This is false. B less than A, this is, or let's say A greater than B, this is true. A less than equal to B, this is false. A greater than equal to B, this is true. Okay. A not equal to B, this is true. And A equal to B, this is false. So the output of the comparison operator is a Boolean entity, and generally we find their usage in the decision making statements. For example, if A is less than B, then take a particular flow, etc. etc. Finally, we have got the Boolean operators. The Boolean operators basically work upon the Boolean variables, and the output is either true or false. The Boolean operators are the OR, AND, XOR, and the NOT operator. Let's first have a look at the OR operator. So, the OR operator is represented with the two parallel lines. So, if A is true, B is true, A or B is true. False, true, true. True, false, true. False, false, false. So, If either of the condition is true, the loop will be true, else not. Okay, so if none of the condition is true, the operator value will not be true. Then you have got the and operator A and B. So if A is true, B is true, B is true. If A is true, B is false, 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 false. So in here, only if both A and B are true, the output will be true, else not. Then we have got the not operator. The not operator behaves like this. The symbol is exclamation. So if A is true, B not A will be false. And this is how the not operator work. Finally, we have got the XOR operator. XOR operator says that if either of the flag is different than the previous flag, then the output will be true. Otherwise, if both the flags are the same, the output will be false. Caret symbol is the representation of the XOR operator. So it's false, true. It will only show true if either of the flag is wrong. So this is the behavior of the XOR operator. You will also find Boolean operators being used to concatenate more than one condition. So let me give you a practice question. Tell me the output of it. So is equal to 9, B is equal to 34, C is equal to, and D equal to 0. So the Boolean condition you want to evaluate is evaluate this condition and tell me the final output. Whether it will be true or false, evaluate. Go ahead. And false. So what is true and false? What is the output you get with true and false? So A less than B. We say 9 is less than 32. Is this true or false? This is true. D greater than C. 0 greater than 87. This is false. So true and false. The final output would be false. Okay. Remember the AND operator behavior. Only if both conditions are true, the output will be true. Is this clear? Okay. So, let's see an example program. Here we are asking the user to provide a number. We are going to find out whether the number is divisible by 2, 3, both. To find out whether a number is divisible by both 2 and 3, we say number mod 2 should be equal to 0 and number mod 3 should also be equal to 0. If this is true, this condition, then the number is divisible by both 2 and 3. The second is it can be divisible by either 2 or 3. So number mod 2 equal to 0 or number mod 3 equal to 0. Finally should be divisible by either of them but not both. So number mod 2 equal to 0 caret, that is or number mod 3 equal to 0. So enter an integer. So is it divisible by 2 and 3? False. By 2 or 3? False. By the XOR operator again? False. Let's run it again. So these are the output which we get by working on the program for Boolean operator. I hope this is clear to you guys. Just read the program and tell me whether you are able to understand it or not. So XOR operator behavior is to give you an output of true if either of the flag is opposite that of the other. So we have seen the numerical operator and the Boolean operators. Okay. Now we are going to talk about few entities which are our conditional and the looping statement, where we will be using these operators and creating some good programs. The very first entity which we are going to talk about is a if statement. So if is a decision making statement, okay, and it is represented in the flow chart by a decision making box, that is this diamond value, and inside it is written down Boolean expression. So whatever is inside this diamond is a Boolean expression which requires evaluation. Once it is evaluated, either the output is true or false. Based upon whether true or false, that particular flow will get executed. For example, we should calculate area of a circle only if radius is greater than 0. So you write down this code snippet: if radius greater than 0, then only you go ahead and calculate the area and you print the area. Else you say that the radius value is invalid. Now there are multiple variants of if. Let's have a look at them. So we have got the simple if statement. It is represented as if condition. Then you have got the if else statement. You have got if condition else. So here you will have got the set of statements to be executed. If true, else if false. Okay. Then we have got the multiple if else state situation, where we have got multiple conditions to be tested. So if condition 1, else if condition 2, else if condition 3, else. So this is the multiple if else available to us. And then we have got the nested if else. The nested if else behave like this: if condition, inside it has another if state situation. So we may have a main condition and then we have got sub conditions. So simple if else, simple if else, nested if else and multiple if else. Let's see an example on some of them. So let's see an example of multiple if else by using the question print the grade of the student based on the following table provided marks are given. So when the user enter his or her marks, its grade is printed. So the marks is between 81 to 100, you will give him a grade A. Him or her 61 to 80, you will give them grade B. 41 to 60, you will give them grade C. Less than 40, you will say fail. And if the value is less than 0 or greater than 100, you basically tell it to be an invalid value. So this is my program. Now if I write one condition, so I'll write down it as if marks greater than equal to 81 and both the conditions should fulfilled. Right? Is this condition which I have written clear to you guys? So similarly, you keep on writing the rest of the conditions and you print your output between these condition statements. So here we print grade A, then again we check a condition, then we print grade B, then again we check a condition, and so on and so forth. So let's have a look. So here we have into find grade. So we are asking the user to provide the marks. Once the mark is provided, we check with our different if conditions. So just read this if block. So when you run this program, the output which we get is, let's say we enter the mark 65, we will get grade B. Okay? It's a very straightforward, simple program, the multiple if else. Now the nested if else example could be, you have a main condition and then you have got sub condition inside it. For example, calculate income tax. So for male, if the income is between $60 to $1,000, the tax is 10%. Similarly, if it is greater than 1 lakh, sorry, you will get the text to be given as 15%. But for female, this chart will change. So here we will have a main condition and then a subcondition. So if gender equal to male, this is the main condition. Inside it there could be another if. If so income is less than equal to, similarly else if gender equal to female. So this is a nested if. You have got a main condition, inside it you have got a subcondition. Is this clear? So let's take a short practice assignment, try it out. So give me the code snippet. So the question is, ask user to provide the side of the geometrical figure and based on the value entered, which could be 0, 1 or 2, calculate the area. So please attempt this. I would want to see the code snippet. Attempt it now, please. So, do we have a code snippet available? Yes, that's right. So, you have written the right code snippet. So we'll say side equal to 1. Use the equal to operator because that's the operator for comparison. Okay, equal to. When you use a single equal to, that is assignment. So if side is 1, it is a circle. So how do you calculate area of a circle? Else if side is equal to 2, it's a square. Sorry, it's a rectangle. Or you could also say that if side is 0, then it is a circle. Else if side is 1, it's a square. Else if side is equal to 2, it's a rectangle. Else it's an invalid figure. So that's how you complete this code snippet. Okay. So that's your if condition, the way you can write down your if. Now we'll talk about the while, which is a loop. So why do you write loops, or what does loops are useful for? So loops are basically used in situations where we have to repeat a particular section of a code again and again, and with every iteration we have to pick up a different data set value. And until a condition is met, we want it to be looped. For example, if I want to find out all even numbers between 1 to 100, so I will not be writing down 1 mod 2, then 2 mod 2, then 3 mod 2, and so on till I'll be writing down till 100 mod 2. I will not be writing down such a big program, right? I would want to loop it. And with every loop, with every iteration, I would want to increment the value of the number, which should be divided by 2 to find out whether it is divisible by 2 to print an even number or not. So for that, we use a while statement, which is a looping statement. Syntax is as follows: while. So you first have an initial condition, then you have got while, loop iteration condition, set of statements to be executed, condition changed. Example, int I equal to 1 while I is less than equal to 10. System.out.println hello. So what will happen in here? It will print hello. Then it will again go back and print hello because I is still not less than equal to 10. So this is an infinite loop because my condition is not changing. But here when I say I equal to I plus 1, my condition is changing. So in the first iteration I is less than equal to 10 true, print hello, then increment I. So 2 is less than equal to 10, yes, then increment I. 3 is less than equal to 10, yes, then increment I. So it is going to print hello 10 times. In the 11th time, when I will become 11, this condition will become false and it will not execute the while loop, rather come out of it. So when the initial condition or when the condition to be tested does not match, then we come out of the while loop. Okay, so that's how the work happens. Let's take an example. Here I would want to print all the even numbers between 0 and 100. So I say I equal to 1 while I is less than equal to 100. If I mod 2 is equal to 0, we print I and then we increment I. So here we are getting all the even numbers between 1 and 100. So just read the program. If there is any question, let me know. So here you have used while as well as you have used if. Is this clear? The while loop? So we'll take a few assignments. Find the smallest number between or among three numbers provided by the end user. That's the first assignment. The second assignment is given the side and the measurement, given the side of the figure, ask the user for the measurement to calculate the area. So 0 is for a circle, 1 is for a square, and 2 is for a rectangle. Your third is ask user to provide a start range and an end range. Print all odd numbers in the descending order. For the following table, calculate the income tax. So if gender is 0, which represents male, income is between 60,000 to 1 lakh, the tax to be paid is 10%. Between 1 lakh to 5 lakhs, the tax to be paid is 15%. Greater than 5 lakhs, the tax to be paid is 20%. Similarly, if gender is 1, female, so this is 7%, this is 10%, or 12%, and this is 15%. So these are the taxes people have to pay. So end user will enter the gender and the income so that you can calculate this. So these are the assignment problems for the time being. We will take a short break now, and after the break we will talk about the for and the switch. But before we go on a break, we have a few questions. We won't have an else here. Where we want to have an else? In the while loop. You can have an else if you want to. That's not an issue. So we'll take a break of 5 minutes, and after the break we will talk about the concept of the for and the switch statement. Thank you. Okay, resuming the session. I hope you all are able to hear me and see the screen. Okay. So the next is discussion of the switch and the for loop. So switch is again a decision making statement, and we generally use switch in situations when we have got well defined categories. Okay, so when we have got well defined categories and multiple categories, then we generally use the switch statement. The syntax of the switch statement is switch, in bracket you have got the switch expression, then you have got different cases. Every case is representing the condition. So case 1, case 2, case 3. So that's the syntax of the switch statement, where every case is representing the condition which we want to evaluate. And then we have got a default. If none of the condition matches, then we have got the default to be executed. So let's see an example of the switch statement. So here we are asking the user to enter the category. This is an example of computing a tax problem where, based upon your marital status, you are going to pay a certain amount of tax. For example, if you are single, your tax is 10%. If you are married, your tax is 5%. If you are separated, your tax is 15%. So we have defined some categories like 0, 1, 2, and along with we have mentioned whether the marital status is single, married or separated, okay, or a widower, and then a default. So we are asking the user to provide us a category and an input of the income. Now we say switch category. So we are switching on the category provided. If the category is 0, so it will match case 0. That means if the person is single, the tax would be 10% of the income. Then we find out whether the person is married. If in case, then it will go and evaluate case 1 and pay the tax of 5%, and so on and so forth. Understand that I could have solved this problem using the if as well. Okay, I could have used the multiple if statement as well as the multiple if statement, to evaluate this particular problem. So generally, in if we do not want to use multiple if, we can solve the same problem by using the switch statement. So it is going to ask me for the category, the income, and then based upon it the tax is going to get calculated. Okay, so just read the program. Let me know if you guys have any doubt. What is the use of break after every switch statement? Yeah, sorry, I did not explain that. So break is an interesting keyword. The purpose of the break is to end the execution of whatever loop or condition the code is right now in. Okay. So the purpose of break is to allow you to exit the code. So it is used to exit the code as we encounter it. Okay, so once a condition is met, there is no point in going further and evaluating the rest of the condition, is it? So we use a break keyword to allow us to exit the code. It can also be used in loops. So for example, if you do not want to move further beyond a so there is a main condition and there could be sub condition. So once a sub condition is encountered, maybe you do not want to move forward. Okay, then you can use a break keyword to exit the code, exit the loop, exit the condition. Similar to a while loop, now we have got a for loop. A for loop is used in situation where we have got well-defined iterations. So like we have used switch for well-defined category, similarly we use for well-defined iterations. When our iterations are pretty much well-defined. The syntax is for initial condition, loop iteration condition, then you have got increment or decrement happening. Example for int I equal to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus. System.out.println hello. So with this what will be happening is when I equal to 0, hello will be printed. Then I will be incremented to 1. Okay. Then hello will get printed. It will go back again to the for loop. I will be incremented to 2. It will check the loop continuation condition. That is fine. So 2, we will again print hello. And this will go on till I is 9. The minute I becomes 10, 10 less than 10 is false. Since our loop continuation condition does not match, we are going to exit the program. Okay. So it will exit the loop. So when the loop continuation condition will fail, we will exit the for loop. So do you understand the behavior of switch and for? And how they are similar with while and if? So when do we use for? When do we use while? So simple things which you should note that while is generally used when the looping is event based. Example, read until end of file or read until end of database records, etc. etc. For is generally used when we have well-defined categories. Okay. Then switch is generally used when you have got again well-defined conditions. And if is used for any condition evaluation. So these are the ways you are going to use while, for, switch and if, and the usage of the break keyword. Now we will be taking a few assignments. So the number of assignments for today will be pretty large, but need not worry. The purpose of each of these assignments is to help you build your logical ability. So these entities, while, if, for, and switch, help you build your logical entities. So they are helpful in building the logical blocks of a programming exercise. Find factorial of a given number. You can use either for or while for it. So example in factorial is n into n minus 1, n to n minus 2 and so on. So 5 factorial is 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. Then your question 6 is write down a program to print the Fibonacci series. So write down a program to print the Fibonacci series. In the Fibonacci series, 0 and 1 are available by default. The next number is the sum of previous two numbers. The next number is the sum of the previous two numbers. And you have to print it until a value which is not greater than 100. So you have to print the Fibonacci series. Here 0 and 1 are available by default. The next number in the series is the sum of previous two numbers. Okay. So these are your assignment problems which you guys have to do and try out these entities which we have discussed. Another thing, when you write down these programs, try to write down the pseudocode first and then try to solve these problems. Okay. Try to write down the pseudocode first and then try to solve these problems. Any questions? Anything which is not clear? So we'll see a for loop program. Here in the program, we are asking the user to provide us with the start range and an end range. Then we read the start range and the end range. And first we are going to print all the even numbers in the ascending order. And then we are going to print all the numbers, odd numbers in the descending order. So this is the usage of for with an if. So we write down for int I equal to start range, I less than end range, I plus plus. If I mod to equal to 0, we print I. Then we are going to print odd numbers in the descending order. So for I equal to end range, I greater than start range, I minus minus. So this is the decrement for loop which we are writing. If I mod to equal to 0, then we print it is not an odd number. So we print in the other situation where I mod 2 is not equal to 0. So in the between the range of 10 and 20, this is the series of even number and this is the series of odd numbers in the descending order. So this is a program showcasing us the ability of the for loop with the if. So read it. Any questions? Let me know. Any questions? Okay. So thank you so much for your time. I hope you will find out time this week to do these assignments. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye everyone. Bye.